Jim Rowan, how you going? It's Smackdown for a second week running. Yes, that's right, I've managed to keep the WWE in business for my second week of Smackdown, and this week we're in Kansas City and beginning the show with Keith Lee and Mustafa Ali. Now these two, you'll notice they look a little bit different. They're a bit inspired by the four pillars from All Japan Pro Wrestling in the 90s. Misawa Kobashi, Kawada, Taue, with the way they have kind of colors associated with them. Keith, of course, being green here. Mustafa Ali is a little bit different, but blue is his color. And the idea kind of not being that they're at the top of the card, but actually at the bottom of the card. And yes, there are two more members of their team, but we can get to that when we get to it. Yeah, they're just kind of solid hands that are there to have good matches with guys like these two dopes. Heavy Machinery, the tag entrance was in the game with the Trons and all, so I thought, well, I'm not going to take another tag team away with Otis as a part of Alpha Academy. I'll throw Titus O'Neil in there. He fits the bill. So this is most certainly an opening match in terms of the star power here. I mean, calling Titus and Tucker mid-carders is probably being a bit generous to them. But I do want big guys for heavyweights to beat. Like, so for example, last week Drew McIntyre got a big win. If I want him to get another kind of win that just in a singles match that is over a decent opponent but not a top guy that's going to be a proper main event, I need it to be guys like Tucker and Titus that are big guys, but I'm happy to beat them. It's just not the same if he beats... There's too many guys in the game that are smaller, so I kind of need jobbers to the heavyweights, and I'm doing a poor job of bigging up my tag division here with Heavy Machinery, but they're doing a good job on Keith Lee and Mustafa Ali, as you can tell. Very much in control of this one, although Mustafa Ali mounting a comeback here off the ropes, DDT. Impressive from Mustafa Ali, showing that they do have a little bit there to give. They're not just there as punching bags. And Keith Lee, the biggest of the four pillars, I don't know exactly what I'm going to call them, but look at that, he moves like a smaller man. Unbelievable athleticism. He fights back against Titus here, knocks him down. That's two big fellas bumping meat. Oh, and some crazy looking striking as well. There's Mustafa Ali nearly getting caught by the bigger man. Look at this, wearing him down. He's holding his own, Mustafa Ali. But yeah, Tucker here, pretty frustrated that he's having trouble with this smaller fella, and I think that's what leads to him just dumping him over the top. But Titus and Keith tag back in here, and it looks like Heavy Machinery might be reclaiming control of this match. The tag division isn't much in this game. There's not a lot of really good tag teams, and that's why there's actually no tag belts being used in my universe at the moment. That will change. There will be a tag division eventually. It's just that when I'm starting off, I've already currently got 5 divisions on the run, so it's difficult to book that many divisions. You've got to build up to it. So, and yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm happy for these tag teams to just be a part of the card for now. They certainly serve a purpose, as you'll see as the universe progresses. But this double overarm suplex just knocked Mustafa Ali out. Tucker tried to get rid of Keith Lee and he copped a knee in the face and he's bleeding now, but he gives Mustafa Ali another suplex for good measure. and that's got to be it. Heavy Machinery pull away with the victory. Pretty impressive victory in terms of how dominant it was. But yeah, Tucker might have some beef with Keith Lee over that knee to the forehead. That's busted him open. But yeah, these two, couple of big fellas, and I'm now gonna talk about a couple of small fellas. Angel Garza. He was on the episode last week, and he is not the nicest fellow, but he does have some talent. Now, Kushida, of course, is one of the top contenders in the Cruiserweight division, and this would be a big win for Garza if he could get it. Of course, last week he was in the winning team over Kushida. It was Carrillo that got the victory over Kushida's partner Cedric Alexander. But you can see here Garza starting off with some rather underhanded tactics, and we've quickly come to know that that's his way of going about things. Great German suplex though, and a bit of showmanship. Karate Kid, the crane pose before some striking. So I've mentioned 5 divisions, and this is one of them, the Cruiserweight division. The other 2 weight classes are the light heavyweight division and the heavyweight division, and they all have a belt that represents that division, because I like the idea of booking 3 world championships, similar to how boxing or the UFC does things, where, you know, all the belts are considered world championships, and it's kind of up to the members of that division to make themselves big enough stars to be the main event. So, for example, Conor McGregor was the biggest star in the company as a featherweight and as a lightweight. So I like the idea that I can build a bigger star in a different division, and we'll see how that goes. By default, the heavyweight champion will be on top, but at the moment, as mentioned last week, The Rock is the heavyweight champion, so it's kind of hard to be a bigger star than The Rock. Now, Garza's gone back to some rather underhanded tactics here against the announce table, against the stairs, and even pulling out a chair here. Kushida stops that from happening, and Garza's really risking a disqualification now. The referees in this game, on this show, I should say, the referees on this show are really just like blind, deaf, and stupid. But they will disqualify you eventually. As Kushida here looks to finish the match in a different way via submission. It's the hoverboard lock. I couldn't get right last time. And Garza shows that he's got the technique and able to get out of that, but then takes out the referee, kicks Kushida in the back of the head. He's going for the chair again. Oh, jeez. He's really pushing it. The referee suffered some memory loss, I suppose. He doesn't remember that awful foul he's just suffered. But back to the hoverboard lock this time. Garza's got to rely on the ropes. But it's not over for his arm. Kushida not letting up. He fights back though, Garza, and here's his finish. It does look kind of painful, like the neck having snapped down like that. But I think it's a pretty weak finish. And I think, he's frustrated here that Kushida's not stayed down, but I don't know. He might need to do something different in future. Moonsault, that's a pretty finish. Is it the finish of this match? Not quite. So I think Garza now is pissed off, basically. So back under the ring he goes. The chair didn't work for him, so instead he'll use a stick. Out comes Kushida, obviously didn't tell, or was brave or stupid, what have you. And for coming out and confronting Garza, he cops shot after shot. This is disgusting from Garza. And still with that attitude of you know, waving Kushida away, being better than everyone else. What a terrible ending to that match. And that brings us to the main event. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, couple of rough around the edges mates that are not particularly popular, but certainly very good wrestlers. Speaking of which, the United States champion, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Now, I spoke about 3 divisions, the weight divisions. The United States Championship and the Intercontinental Championship are the prizes of the other 2 divisions. And they basically act like home and away titles. The United States title is primarily defended in the United States. The Intercontinental title is primarily defended around the world. And that's why you won't necessarily see it on Smackdown so often, but you will see it, don't worry. Before that though, we'll see these guys in action. 2 champions up against 2 thugs, kinda. I mean, these guys, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they're kind of mid-carders. They're definitely heels. They're just, yeah, I like that they're rough around the edges and a bit, I don't know, quirky, would that be the word? But they definitely will, you know, get outside the ring here and not have too much concern for the rules. Yeah, don't really necessarily care about making things pretty. Although Sami Zayn in particular, as he goes up against a light heavyweight champion, a light heavyweight himself, he is a very talented wrestler. And you know, if he was maybe more focused on his technique rather than just kind of being a scumbag, he actually, you know, has the makings of a champion in terms of talent. So he's not having too much luck against the United States champion here though. When Kevin Owens goes down to a flying forearm, look at the athleticism from Shawn Michaels. Looked like maybe AJ going for another brain buster, but Sami escapes, and speaking of that technique, he goes into a roll-up, but it's broken. Kevin Owens the only heavyweight in this match, but AJ can still throw him around with relative ease, and so Kevin Owens throws him around outside the ring and into the furniture. Then the stunner. Oh, look at that. It's just Shawn Michaels. His intervention was necessary in order for the match to continue, I think. Knocks him out of the ring. Zayn going for the haluva kick, but AJ dodges it. And now here's Sami trying to cradle HBK, but he kicks out on his own. Looks like there's another stunner coming. Yes, from Owens, but Sami Zayn got in the ring too early and the referee was more focused on him. If only that was the case here! Low blow! Knocks out HBK's feet on the ropes, ref! Oh my goodness. Oh, these referees are the dumbest in the world. My goodness. These 2 fools have beaten 2 champions. You can't believe it. It's the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. Until next time, have a good one.